Let's check on these worms and see what's going on. So the bubble wrap looks good. And this is the paper bag from the Mariner bin. So we'll set that off to the side. There's plenty of worms underneath that bag and starting to chew out through the new one we replaced just a couple weeks ago. So let's go ahead and set that one off to the side, I think. And we got more worms underneath the bags here. And see, we fed on this side, if I remember correctly. So let's take a quick look at that. Now, we did not blend the food last week. And we had some leftovers. And we still have a carrot there. And a few other little bits and pieces here. Lots of worm activity, though. Lots of worm activity. So, well, that nice cluster right there, huh? Okay, so let's put them off to the side. And we'll feed in the center today. Let's go ahead and dig down. So we'll feed in the center so it's adjacent to the other eating area. Today's blend is broccoli, asparagus, some eggshell, potato skins, a little bit of bell pepper, some mushrooms, a touch of rice, some carrots, and I'm sure I'm forgetting something here. We'll add some grit in the form of some azomite. Cover that back up. And I'm going to add a little bit of azomite to the rest of the surface too. And I'm going to add some fresh leaves as bedding. I just pulled these leaves outside from outside, so they might be a little bit cold, but they should warm up soon enough. The bag here, that's already fallen apart, back in place, along with the bag from the Mariner bin. And let's move on to the Mariner bin now. Okay, on the Mariner bin. Now last week I had pulled almost all the castings and everything to this side in preparation for doing a harvest on this. And we left off the paper bag and the plastic. Now on AJ's Green Topics, I won his 3,000 subscriber giveaway. And with that came this nice soil thermometer. This is actually shipped from Mimi's Worms. And I put it in here so I can check the temperature. Now it's not a deep one like I'd have for like a compost bin, but for the worm bin here, it works really well, or for checking the general soil temp outside. So we fed on this side of the bin last week, and look at that giant worm cluster right there. Now we did not blend the food last week, as I mentioned, for the first bin. And I put some new fresh leaves and stuff in here. And I can see the worms are making their migration into that area. So I'm going to continue feeding in this spot here. But I'm going to do it a little bit higher and let some of this other stuff that wasn't blended last week break down. I'll just dump all that out. Now I want to make sure I did blend the food this week so that the worms have an easier time breaking it down. I'm going to add some grit in the form of the azomite, along with new fresh leaves I pulled from outside. Again, the idea is to get the worms to migrate over to this side so I can harvest the castings on this other end here. We'll add lots of nice fresh leaves. And let's take a quick look and see how many worms are still left in this area. So I can get an idea of just one, how moist this area still is, and how many worms still remain. Now there's remnants of the paper bag that we had in here. So I think I'll pull some of that out and move it over to this side, and along with whatever worms might be attached to them. Okay, so there's still quite a few worms in the casting area. So we definitely need to give them another week to kind of make their way over to this new side. And I will continue leaving this side uncovered so that these castings have a chance to kind of dry out a little bit before we harvest them. And we'll check in again next week. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you then.